Hello, in continuing with our series on unique concepts and out of the box ideas regarding economics, finance, and industries and market. In today's video, I would like to talk about why I prefer metals and solid metal based industries and companies as compared to oil and oil based companies, oil based industries like petrochemicals. So, hello, this is Neeraj here, and welcome to my channel. And namaste to all my Indian viewers, and hello to everybody else. So, why I prefer metals and metal based industries as compared to this oil or liquid, what I call as an oil or liquid and liquid based like petrochemicals industries. So the first is, and the only reason is China. So you all will be wondering why China in today's world is China is the most hated world. So why China? So the reason is that if you look at the companies and if you look at the manufacturing capacities or the manufacturing bases for most of these metals, be it steel, be it aluminum, be it copper, any of these metals, if you take it, it is mostly the China which manufactures more than 50% in each of these metals categories. Chinese companies and inside China. So manufacturing bases are inside China. More than 50% of the world's manufacturing capacity in metals and in those metals related industries is inside China and run by the Chinese companies, not by any of these foreign ventures. So that is the first reason. And if you now take it of whether it is oil and oil industry or oil based industries like petrochemicals. So take the classic example is that in oil and petrochemicals it is still that USA is the leader, and the companies, USA and European companies like say BASF or BP, Total Shell, and in generally all this manufacturing bases of these petrochemicals and oil and gas are spread in, mostly are controlled by this USA and European companies, and also when capacities are based, industries are based in these regions of USA, Europe, Russia, Southeast Asia, and particularly in say Korea and Japan. So this is this is the first difference. Now you will ask me that okay, so what, why it is related, so how it affects the demand supply. So let's discuss about this demand supply and the unique dynamics of each of these things in brief. So if you look at this this Chinese, why I say that Chinese bases and Chinese manufacturing is that this is already this metal based industries like steel or copper or aluminum, and most of them are in China and run by the Chinese companies. So it is already established because of that demand in that market, the Chinese growth, and also because of this other dynamics that they have invested on a long term basis, that long heavy capital incentive industries, and where there is no, basically if you look at in this some of these industries, many of these metals industries, USA is nowhere. So it's about rivalry with the USA. So USA is nowhere into this because in the steel industry and aluminum and in generally it is this, after China it is the India and Japan and Russia which are the major producers. USA is not now a major producer or major base of manufacturing of this metal industries. So that is one. As compared to, if you look at also the consumer where the market is, so you have to look at each industry. So market is also Asia, particularly India and China for most of this metal, because infrastructure and all this growth is happening in these regions as compared to say USA and Europe, which is already developed. So that is the another reason. Now you look at this oil and oil based industries like say petrochemicals, you will see that most of this manufacturing, whether it is Dow Chemicals or BASF, and whether it is Formason or Japanese company and some of these South Korean giants, chemical giants. So most of these manufacturing bases or the companies are basically USA or European companies or controlled by them. And bases, manufacturing bases or the industries are also located in USA, Europe, Southeast Asia, Korea, Japan, not in China. So that is the one major reason that where there is nothing to that there is nothing like China is not competing in those particular industry with USA as such directly. So because this is already controlled by USA, this oil and gas and petrochemical related industry is basically the manufacturing base is not in China. So there is no tension as such tension regarding this shifting of some of this manufacturing bases, because China is not such a major player in oil and petrochemical industries as compared to metal related industries. So that gives more stability to the metals and metal based industries as compared to oil and gas. And why? Because being China not a direct competitor, it is also, it's like I'll just give you an example of that. These metals are the building blocks. Okay, different metals are the building blocks, like our body. So our body is, suppose say, it's made of different metals, so it's a building block. To run this body and to make it live or to power it, you need some medium, that is fuel. So fuel can be anything. Fuel can be oil, fuel can be hydrogen, fuel can be solar power, fuel can be gas, fuel can be nuclear, and fuel can be lithium battery also. So you are not very much dependent on, you have the alternative choice. So the same way, I think the China also knows that, and that is why these kind of industries are not so developed in China, because it's not so important. Important is building blocks, that is metal industries. So anything cannot be made without metals inside it or outside it. So that is the reason I prefer, regarding the long-term stability of an industry or the long-term outlook for the commodity, is that metal and solid commodities and metal-based industries as compared to the oil and the petrochemical industries. Now coming back to the third point is that there is another case, is that now in this in the view of this pandemic, and everything is world is against China, and the way it has covered up also, and lot of things in particularly in the tension with India. There are people are talking about that shifting of manufacturing base from China to India, or from some third world countries or some other countries. So that is where also this is the third point, where this chemical maximum bases of manufacturing bases of non-Chinese company or the European companies are invested in the chemical or manufacturing of the chemical in China, not in the petrochemicals basis. So if you look at, this is the third point, is that API, which is the building block of any pharmaceutical, the drugs. So API is that advanced active pharma ingredients. So that is where the China has also mastered the art of cost and volume manufacturing and economies of scale. That is where it controls 40% of the world's API demand, and it is manufactured inside China. So that is what the difference main we have to understand, is that which industries which are inside China manufactured by the Chinese company has different dynamics as compared to the those industry where that manufacturing base is not inside China so much, majority way. Its majority is outside China, and also the companies manufacturing those is not Chinese companies, these are mostly European companies. So that is where the tension can be in terms of API, and we can see some kind of disruption into this API kind of chemicals, where they talk about shifting of this, because majority of those companies also invested in API in China is say European companies and the USA. And apart from that, most of these companies have base inside their own countries for the manufacturing also. Like India has around 18% of this API manufacturing capacity of the world. The same way Europe also has around 13 to 15% of the manufacturing capacity of API. USA has got. So now in this wake of this pandemic and the tension with China, I think all these countries are thinking of shifting, because already when the base is there, it becomes easier to develop that base in short period of time and start production, rather than in metals and solid industries, where already that ecosystem is established and it's a long-term capital intensive industry. It's not so easy to shift and start manufacturing. So to conclude in my speech here in my video is that I prefer metal and metal based industries for the investment or the positive outlook for the future, as compared to the crude oil and gas and oil based industries like petrochemicals, liquid industries. So that is what my take on this is, that I am negative on oil and oil based industries like petrochemical industries, and also on these companies who are into this sector. And in API you can definitely see sense, and if you can find some good API manufacturer, because there will be a lot of action happening in API side, where other countries other than China is also the base, and in the wake of this pandemic and in the wake of this disruption happening, everybody will try to develop that. So this is in conclusion to look at the industries. Thanks that's it from my side, and if you like it, you please put a like and share it with your maximum friends, and if you want, you can tell them to subscribe also. And we will come back once again with next week with some more innovative and unique idea, which I don't think so which many people are looking at it in that point of view. Thanks once again, and this is Neeraj here. Ciao from Moscow.